I got involved with One Tree Hill by an audition with Tolan Robbins and Mark Swan, and I've been knowing those guys for a long time. And I went in for the audition. They said they was looking for a basketball player who could also act very well, and I felt to myself that I was the best person for the job, and they totally agreed with me. So that's how I got down for One Tree Hill. You know what? Actually, I never expected a relationship with me and Bevan. I didn't even think they was gonna give me a girlfriend. I was happy to really just go to school because my character always stayed at the River Court, and you know, I thought I was like a dropout or something, but then come to find out I really did go to school, and I did have a girlfriend, so they kind of put me in with the mainstream people. I realized I had a passion for acting when I got my first acting check, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, you mean to tell me I could do this and get paid? So I started thinking about it, and I started really getting serious so that way I could keep getting jobs, because if you just go into audition and really don't know what you're doing, like I kind of winged my first couple auditions and just booked it. Then I finally started getting serious because I wanted to keep that check coming in, and I also like to do it at the same time. Well, what made me decide to stick with One Tree Hill is the producers, because the producers, they did a lot of the movies that I've done, so it was like every time we did something together, it was a hit. So I was like, you know, if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it. And plus I love Swanee and Tolan Robbins and Joe Davola and all those other guys, so I just like working with them. So when they called me and gave me the opportunity to be a regular, I was like, I'm down. I don't feel that I got to step my game up since I'm a series regular, because my character is what it is. He adds a lot of flavor to the show, and I think Skills is unique within itself. He's totally different from all the other characters. It's like with the other characters, it's a lot of drama going on. With my character, it's a lot of comedy going on. So, you know, I think he kind of is the comic relief of the show. So I think I could be actually more loose than the other characters who have that strict storyline that they got to stick by. Me, I'm kind of free and wild, so I just roll with it. What it's like to work with Swan on Coach Carter and One Tree Hill. It was cool because I remember when he hit me with the idea about Coach Carter, he was like, we gotta get you back to California. Get out for Carter, man. It's gonna be good and all of this. And I was like, man, is the movie good? And he was like, yeah, it's good. You gotta read the script, because he know I don't really read that many scripts. And I was like, man, I'm not reading the script. And then I read the script, and then the next day they changed the whole script. So that's why I'm glad that I didn't read the script, and I waited till I got the final script to read it. But working with Swan, it's always a challenge, because that's my boy, and I could call him up and be like, man, this whack. I'm not saying that. He'd be like, okay, well, just do whatever. And a lot of producers don't let you do that, because they'd be like, no, you got to stick to the script. And he's kind of like, hey, if you're going to make it better, I'm going to get the credit for it, so keep it moving. Thanks for all the great questions, but you know what y'all need to do is watch One Tree Hill on Wednesday nights on the CW.
Hey, I'm Danielle Harris, and this is CW Connect. Well, Constantine, it's really fun. I like it, and I feel like I'm an old shoe at it now, because it's like a year and a half, and I'm still doing it. And I hope you guys think I'm doing it well. I think you all pretty much love to write really mean things about Rachel, so it makes me feel good in this kind of weird reverse way. Yes. Popcorn flick? I like it. A little bit, yes. Of course, I kind of have an idea of where the story's going. So, I was kind of excited because I've always wanted to make out with Nathan. No, I'm just kidding. No, did I say too much? I would have loved to watch it, but my ex-boyfriend tried out for Nathan's part, and I did say ex, and he didn't get it. So he really didn't like the show and didn't want me to watch it. But if I had known that he was going to be my ex-boyfriend, I'd have totally watched it every day, just to be mean. I think that Rachel, we're seeing a nicer side of her, obviously. I mean, she kind of helped, in episode 2, she helped out Peyton with her friendship with Brooke, or at least tried to. And you kind of see her as a person with a forgiving heart, and that's different. One Tree Hill, great name. Mean, definitely mean, because I'm such a nice person in real life that, you know, it really wouldn't be acting. It would be like me playing myself. It would definitely be changed by Blind Melon. Duh. The Pamela Anderson dress from episode 4 of season 3. It's hot. Plus, you could also slip and slide on it. Mark Schwann. Mark, are you watching? Mark Schwann, he's the best. Good friends. And then Lee Norris. Let's see. Probably Eric Clapton. Yeah, and I went with my dad. And my mom. But it's pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks for all the great questions, guys. And remember to watch One Tree Hill Wednesday nights at 9 on the CW. Got it.
8 Central.
Oh, 8 Central.
I can't do it. I can't keep it on
Just
there.
freeze frame that. That can be the new poster.
Mark Schwann, creator of One Tree Hill, and this is CW Connect. You know, a lot of people have mentioned that, and I've mentioned it in the past, Mouth is a character that is very similar to me, and so a lot of people asked about that. Was I Mouth in high school, or is that character based on me? Sometimes it's easy for me to get inside Mouth's head because I did travel a similar path, but his journey this year has been wildly different than any journey I had, so and will be in the final 6 episodes, so don't go anywhere. I'm starting to think that the character that is most like me is Chris Keller at this point. I don't know what that says about me. Actually, I do know what it says about me, but you know, he's a musician, and I always wanted to be a musician and was a struggling one for a while, hence the hair. And he can be a bit of a scoundrel, but I think he's got a good heart, and I think he genuinely wants to help the people around him, as we saw when he was leaving town, and as we'll see additionally in the in an appearance in the final 6 episodes of the season. That's an awesome screen name. I also am a Nayli Ty Hill Lee lover. You know, I have to say that there are certain characters on the show that you can take more risks with. This season, probably Deb was really fun to write for because you could do all kinds of things with Deb because she was kind of wacky and crazy. Tyler Hilton as Chris Keller is really fun because he takes a lot of chances, and you kind of like that in an actor. And plus his character is designed that way, that he can be a little offensive, but you get a sense that he's got a great heart. The girls are really fun to write for. Certainly Brooke, who's done a little bit of everything over 4 years, and Peyton and Haley as well. You know, I find myself sort of endeared to those characters, and it's always fun to send them on journeys of their own. I would be a tree on a hill, and I would probably be a money tree, because then when anybody goes, you know, money doesn't just grow on trees, they'd say, well, yeah, there's Schwann over there, it's a money tree. I had a lot of fun doing it. We had fun that day. The fear factor is pretty vast. It was, you know, being in front of the camera really, as a director, it helped me because it opened my eyes to how an actor is processing a note, and you know, just the fact of hitting a mark and being in the same place, and then hopefully giving Hillary what she needed, because it was more emotional. The scene was more emotional for her than certainly it was for me. So I had a lot of fun doing it. I'd love to do it in the future. I don't know if I will. But in season 5, we'll definitely still have music and the music storylines as a part of the show. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Max again. You know what's weird about working in TV is you don't really have a lot of time to actually watch TV. I do watch some shows, though. I find that I'm catching up now at the end of this season. We just literally locked the finale this morning. So I went home and I gorged myself on, like, I have a TiVo, so I watched like 6 episodes of Heroes, which I'm loving. And what's great about it is we have this rule in the writer's room where you get a year to see a movie or a TV show. Nobody can talk about it or give away the ending. Once the year has passed, it's fair game. You had a year. If you didn't see it by then, we're talking about it. But because a lot of times other shows and other movies will come up and someone will say, oh, like the ending to The Sixth Sense, when? And somebody will say, I haven't seen it. And we're like, look, you had time. tough. Do I ever want to chuck it all and move back to Illinois? I love Illinois, and I hope that I someday will move back to Illinois and live out my days in a very John Hughesian existence. But I'm not ready to chuck it all, no. Some days it's a little speculative, trust me, but I'm looking forward to season 5 and 6 and maybe 7. I do get to Wilmington, maybe once a month or so. And when I'm there, I have to tell you, Paul Johansson may play a reprehensible character, but he's awesome to go to dinner with. So he's a little closer to my age, so I hang out with Paul a lot. And James and Lee, this year I got to hang out with Steven a lot. And as a new addition to the cast and a new addition to our world in Wilmington, he's a great guy, and he's a lot of fun to go out with, and just a really sweet kid. Of the girls, actually this season I hung out with Sophia more, and it was nice to sort of get to spend time with Sophia. I hadn't done a lot socially with her in the past. The time she did the goth makeup thing for episode 409, I made her keep the makeup on when we went to the gym, which was really fun. More so for me than her, probably. I love the La Rocca album, The Truth. We used a bunch of songs off of it this year. I thought that was a really wonderful album. I just got the new album by The National, which I'm really happy with, and the new Veils record is fantastic. So if you guys don't have that, you need to get it, and there's going to be a slew of Veils songs in the final 6 episodes for the rest of the season. Mark Schwann, creator of One Tree Hill, and this is CW Connect. So Fierce, I had actually written this as a feature script. It was a movie, and it was a very different movie, but it had Lucas and Peyton and Nathan, and those characters were in the feature. And when we were shooting the pilot, which was very different than the movie, Lucas would ask me, when did I first realize that Nathan was my brother? And I had all that information because I had written it as a movie script, and then I had started writing it as a novel. So it was great, and I saw that they really appreciated that backstory when I could look them in the eye and say, here, let me tell you exactly what happened, and really give them detail and texture. And it got to be like a running joke, like Chad would say, ask him anything. He knows what color socks Lucas was wearing that day. P. Sawyer Fan 6, you asked about how we've written Ghost. We wrote Ghost Keith, the little boy, and obviously we brought Keith back this year. We wrote Angel, who we all loved. Originally it was Peyton's Halloween costume, and we became so enamored of it, and we just thought she looked so wonderful in it, and it was really a tribute to hair and makeup and wardrobe and all the teams that sort of embraced that. That I just thought it was wonderful, and I thought, maybe that's what her subconscious looks like to her, and we can bring Pangel, is what we call her. We can bring Pangel back, and she can have this direct conversation with herself. We can go basically anywhere that we can take people in the framework of One Tree Hill, and that's pretty much anywhere. So, sometimes we do a better job than others, and sometimes we're able to do really big cliffhangery things, and sometimes we do quiet moments, but I don't worry about running out of ideas for the show. As a matter of fact, some days I think we've only scratched the surface. So Mini Mark, I love your name. I do check the message boards, not as often as I once did. I think first season, had a better dialogue with the fans, and I tried to be more active in that dialogue. Obviously, we appreciate the fans enormously, and we've tried to cater to them as much as we can, which is how we got to CW Connect. It was hard for me. I found that I was dwelling more on the criticism than I was embracing the positive comments on the message boards. I found that for me, I had to believe in the show that I was writing, and I had to believe that you guys would embrace that show, and I had to sort of stay away because there would be so many wonderful things said, but the few negative things tended to bother me a little bit. So